the bambino, the tubarino, the smallest tuba in the world. Is it the smallest tuba in the world? Do you want to see cinematic footage of the smallest tuba in the world? Do you want to see the smallest tuba in the world? This Tuba Dylan, this is the smallest tuba in the world. Well, not really, because you can't really say what the smallest tuba in the world is. It could be a trumpet. Who knows? Now it has a dent in it. What is this? Look at this thing. It's just so small. Hello, I'm a little tuba. I'm just a tiny little guy. I'm so compact. I'm wrapped around and around and around. Look at that. That's crazy. That's the tuba wrapped around itself like 1, 2, 3, 4 whole times. 4 whole times. Which makes it kind of stuffy. The thing is kind of stuffy because of that. It looks kind of silly to play. It is a very small tuba. It's an F tuba. This one happens to be made by MackBrass. But I think these were made in the Jimbao factory in China. And this horn is kind of a novelty. I bought this from Tom McGrady from MackBrass, and I think it was his personal version of this horn that he had actually soldered these Indian head nickels onto in order to use the valves more efficiently. I'm guessing the valves were way too light, and they actually work pretty well. All the parts and pieces seem to match up and everything moves, and I rarely have oiled it and still the valves work. They're a little bit noisy. They're not the fanciest valve I've ever seen, but they serve the purpose. And you know, kudos to MackBrass, because I know he worked with the Chinese in getting this one out, and I think whatever little designs he has on here work well. The braces aren't terrible. The slides all move on it. They're not freezing up. The lead pipe, I don't really play it, so wouldn't say, but like it looks like it's not rotting out or anything. This tuba is not really intended for professional use. I don't think anyone would play with an orchestra for really any purpose on this tuba if you have access to other professional instruments. What it's really good for is, I'll just play a C scale. See how stuffy the C is? It's like the word, you know how those F tubas, those rotary F tubas can be very stuffy in the low register? This one is the stuffiest I've ever played. Like here's the C. If you really focus in on the note, you can kind of pop it, but this kind of has to be loud and can't hit the high note with this mouthpiece on this horn. You see me struggling through it. I'm not going to blame it on the horn. It's really me. What it's really good for is just showing off to your friends and making a YouTube video about it. I thought I could actually perhaps make some amount of music with it, but once I tried to play it, I realized that I would never play this out in front of people because it is so stuffy and hard to play in tune. Better than you think though. It's not a toy. It doesn't play terribly awful. It plays semi-bad. Not terribly awful, semi-bad. Now it's full of water. So now the horn's full of water, and since I never play it, I have no idea where all the water is. So it's going to be kind of like a French horn, and oh wow, this so needs to be lubricated. Oh, this needs to be lubricated. Oh, look at this. This is like the fourth valve slide over here. Oh, nothing's coming out of that. Nothing's coming out of that, chap. Maybe you spin it. Maybe you gotta spin it. Did I mention this thing is totally a piece of junk? Did I mention that it's no fun to play? Did I mention that I've tried to play something musical on it and I just can't do it because it's crummy? This horn is just not something I want to play to make music with. That's an honest truth about this tuba. But it looks cool and it's fun to tell your friends about. It's the size of my head. How's everyone doing? It's 24 degrees outside. I have the windows open and I'm sweating. Well, it comes in a hard case that is rather robust. I don't know if I'd put it under an airplane, but I don't think I'd put any tuba under an airplane, or at least I wouldn't advise doing that. But it does come with a hard case that has a little lock on it that my son likes playing with because he feels like he has some amount of authority if he has a key and he has something to unlock. And I've given him the one for this horn because if he does open it and hurt the horn in some way, I won't be terribly offended because this is probably it's my least favorite of all my tubas. It would be the first one that I would, throw out of a window if someone made me throw a tuba out of a window and I had to choose one of my horns to throw out a window. This would be the first one. If I was held at gunpoint or if someone was maybe even threatening to spit at me if I didn't throw the horn out the window, this is the one I would probably throw out the window. This is the horn that I like the least. That's why I let my son play with it. It might kind of be a funny instrument to have as a prop and have someone playing it in a comedic movie about tubas. As everyone wants to see a funny movie about a tuba player. Someone come up with an idea and make a script, send it to me. We'll get going on that right away. I'm not a very handy guy, and I look at all these tubes and the inner workings of an instrument like this, and I'm mighty impressed by how they do that. Whether it's an assembly line or if they have computers or whatever it is, it looks like it's very difficult to bend tubes of brass and make them somewhat resonant. I kind of wonder, there's a bend down here that's a little bit more right angled than all the other curves. I wonder if they did that on purpose, or if it's just poor workmanship, or I don't know. They probably did it on purpose, but I don't know. Yeah, valves are kind of clanky. They're pretty clanky. They're the clankiest that I have. Listen to that. They're clanky. Can you hear them clanking? Oh, ooh, there's more water in there. There's water everywhere in there. Bet it's in here this time. Oh, look at that. It came out the bottom. The water 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 came out the bottom of the tuba. It's condensation. Condensation. And subscribe to my channel. Subscribe to my channel. I never say that. Like this video. Even if you don't like it, hit a don't like because you don't like it. I don't like this tuba, and you don't like this video. So hit a don't like for the tuba and the video. Seriously, love God, love your neighbor. It will help you be a better person. Meditate deeply on those thoughts. I love you. Thank you for watching my video. This is Tuba Dylan. I'll see you in the next video. Hookah, waka, shuka, chaka, hookah.